MVP is a minimum viable product, and it's pretty much the kind of lowest thing that you can make that is still what it is that you're trying to do. So you don't try and build the entire, Titanic when all that maybe the minimal viable product is a rowboat. Because all you're trying to do is say, I'm trying to get products across a body of water. And so a lot of times when you have an MVP, you are trying to figure out what exactly it is that you're trying to build and what your customers are demanding from you. So an MVP is a part of the lean startup process, and a lot of times what that process is looking at is you start with something and you test it out and you see, is there a demand for this? And then you have a chance to pivot and you have a chance to add and take away things to meet the actual demand of the clients and the customers. And so if you have something that's small and nimble, it's easy to add and take away and shift focus to what the client actually wants. Whereas if you've already built everything, it sometimes can be much harder to figure out what the issue is and figure out what needs to change to meet the demand. So with crowdfunding, a lot of times you have the MVP and that's the first product that you're selling. And oftentimes you also are showing the bigger product, but you know that you can't make that yet. And so an MVP is the kind of baseline product, so it allows you to start selling something and allows customers to get their hands on it so that way they can tell you what that new, better, improved thing should be, and so you can actually make something that they want to buy later at hopefully a higher price point. Do you need an MVP? Yes and no. What you need is to have your idea reduced to practice, and that's a bit of a patent term, but it essentially means you have to know what it is, and you have to be able to show what it is to both your customers and to your investors. If you're just saying, oh, I have this idea and it's this big, unicorn in the sky, and you can't really explain what is going on, how are they going to know what they're investing in and if they think there's a demand for it as well? If you are doing MVPs, if you're putting those out for sales, even pre-sales, that can trigger some of those patent deadlines and make it so perhaps you can't get patent protection later. So even though you think you're just doing a minimal viable product and you're not doing anything big, it can have profound impact on your ability to protect it later. So it's important to check with your attorneys sooner rather than later when you're doing that.